Hello YouTube, welcome back from my stoep. I've changed my sitting arrangement on my stoep due to trying to see a different perspective. But it looks as if it works well. Now I can see my fire when I'm going to braai, and so also today, very warm, hot Saturday in Mpumalanga. It looks like we're reaching about 35, 36, so I might dive into the swimming pool a bit later. But just a quick update again, and another video in my series. And maybe also some good news, because I've just received this morning a new pipe, which I bought. PAD, you know what's PAD? Pipe acquisition disorder. So this is a handmade Nording, and so I got this this morning, gave it a good clean, and testing it out for the first time, and it feels great. But the real video today will be about the continuation on my series of who I am, and today's video might be split into two, because I realize it's going to be probably a long one, because today I'm going to share with you what I believe in. The others up till now was many of my interests, the whiskey, the food, cooking, pipes and smoking, and there's some others also which I still will touch on. But today I'm going to share with you what I believe in. Well, you all know that I'm a minister in a church, or a pastor, or a part-time pastor, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how things is there in USA and Europe and other countries in terms of faith, but I've noticed that it's kind of easy to say that you believe, let's say, for example, in Jesus Christ, but it's often not so easy to explain, or to explain the content of what you believe. And that's why lately I've been thinking about this, and I've been discussing it with a few people, to let them understand that we also need to understand, and we need to define what we believe in, what the content is of what we believe in. So I'm going to provide a few statements of what I believe in, and again, we are dynamic, growing people. We're on a journey, and me particularly, I'm on a 4x4 off-road experience, or off-road journey with God. So sometimes rough, sometimes not so rough, but we are on a journey, and you are never complete. And I don't think, I'm a postmodernistic person, although I might be regarded as a baby boomer, growing up in the modernistic paradigm of worldview. And sometimes I do see that coming through, in my thinking, but mostly I'm a postmodernistic thinker. With other words, and I'll do a video on that also, because that can also be quite a topic on its own. But just a quick view from my side, in any case, is that modernistic view was very much like the philosophers in the 16th, 17th, maybe even 18th centuries, how they saw and perceived the world. So when they regarded when they found a truth that was an absolute truth, and that truth would stand until the next research maybe would refute that. But postmodernistic for me is that there's not one truth. There's the context and the person and the context determines or not determines, but the context can make that the truth might be different. The truth might be different for you than for me. For example, and I see that also in research, because in research you can actually research and prove virtually anything. If I do a research on how people has developed their faith, I cannot say that this would be true for all adolescents all around the world. I can only say in the postmodernistic paradigm that it is truth for Afrikaans youth in this context, with this background, etc. Because if you look holistically at world and people, there are so many factors that makes a difference in how you perceive things and where you are, that you can't, I believe, you can't state a truth that is absolute. Obviously, there are some truths that are absolute. That cannot be determined by the context. And to me, that is one of the reasons why I'm saying that when you read your Bible, you also need to make sure that you determine or understand what is absolute and what is not absolute. If Paul, for example, write that women should wear a hat in the church, it is not an absolute truth. It doesn't change anything in terms of salvation and God's mission to the world and God's love for people and the world and Jesus Christ's works and life. Nothing. It was a contextual statement that he made at the time due to the cultural setup. So that is, to me, not an absolute statement. But that murder is sin and you should not kill people, obviously that is an absolute statement. So to me, and that's what I try to tell my kids also, is to determine and to make sure that you understand what is absolute and what is not absolute, because that does make a difference in how you perceive things and how you then address certain things. So that in short is more or less postmodernistic paradigm, and that is the paradigm I live in, and that's why the reason why I'm explaining this to you is because the statements that I would share today with you might change over time, and they have changed since my youth, because life experiences, falling, standing up again, repenting, my journey with God, my knowledge, and the way He revealed Himself to me over time as a growing process made me change some things that I believed in the past. So this is where I am now, and to me that's not bad. Actually, to me that is very good, because that means that we are dynamic people who grow and who are in a relationship. Your relationship with your wife is not the same 20 years ago than it will be today, and it will not be the same 20 years from here on. And you as a person and your wife as a person, or your kids or whoever, will not be the same, because we are changing and we are on a journey. And this is what I need to state before I state these things. So without wasting extra time on explanations, let me go directly into my first statement. I am reformed. I want to say also emerging, but emerging has got a negative context due to certain statements and things that were said by emergent theologians. So let me then say that I am reformed. Although emerging is actually a very nice word, because emerging says that that things gradually and sometimes even unnoticed come into being. And isn't that what happens to all of us? Is that as we grow and as our knowledge expands, we come into being. We become more and more the person that we want to be, or we are slowly but surely developing the potential that was put into us as human beings. Isn't that emerging? But so I am emerging and reformed. Reformed meaning that I do believe in the Reformation, that I do believe, not in the Reformation, I do believe that the Reformation that happened through Martin Luther and the rest was valid and correct, but I do not think that anyone who is not in the Reformed is wrong and should therefore not experience the freedom and the salvation. But I do personally believe that, to me, that is a true reflection of the Bible. And but very importantly, which I think the Reformation and the Reformed churches or Christians have lost a little bit, is that we should be continually reforming. We should not only, Reformed meaning was for a long time what they were against in terms of the Roman Catholic Church. But I do think we should come to a point where we should be able to state what we are for. And that would also be, constantly evolving, because as I grow and as I learn more, I understand more. So it is important to me that I'm reformed, but I'm also continually reforming, not by myself or by my own thinking or my own goodness, but by the relationship with God and by His work in and through me. So that's a continual process. Where I'm now in my journey is where I am now. It might not be the same in 2 years' time. I hope actually that it's not the same in 2 years' time, because then there were no growth. So to me, being emergent and being reforming is kind of a hand-in-hand thing. I'm continually coming into being, growing into what I am supposed to be. And reforming meaning I constantly review what I believe and what I read and what I think is, the truth for me now, because it might be wrong. Over years and through cultures and through interaction with people, you might slowly but surely get into a position where you, I don't want to say bend the Bible and the rules, but you get to a point where you don't think again back to, but what does this really mean, and how can I apply this into my life and into my context? So to me, those are also important things in terms of who I am and what I believe in. So my first video then, in terms of what I believe, is on the topic that I am an emergent, reformed Christian, meaning that I gradually, on a 4x4 off-road journey, because of my relationship with God, are coming into being in what He wants me to be. And I am reformed, that I believe in the Reformation statements and how they perceived the Bible, but I'm also constantly being reformed by His work in me, and as my understanding and my knowledge grows with Him. So that's my first video then, friends, on what I believe in, and the next one will then continue in this one. I think there will probably be about 6 or 7 of these. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to participate in the conversation and correct me, it's part of the growing process, it's part of the journey, it's part of the understanding of concepts and things. You're more than welcome to participate through the comments, and let's discuss it, because through discussions you also get corrected in what you wrongly understand and perceive. So on that note, friends, and I think my video is already quite long, I am going to greet you and thank you for watching. Thank you for your subscriptions and your positive notes, and I'm enjoying my newly acquired Eric Nording handmade, my first one, I must say. Might not be my last, because this really pulls and smokes very nice. On that note then, friends, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Thanks, bye-bye.